Hello, hello. Welcome to this live coaching session. If you guys are new to my channels, I'm Erin. I teach virtual assistants how to run profitable businesses, and I am starting to do lives on a weekly basis, Wednesdays, 1 o'clock Eastern. So thanks so much for joining me today. And I do apologize. Busy day, and I need to make sure all my settings are correct because I just ran from a meeting straight into this coaching. Okay. There. All right. I think I'm actually synced up to my microphone. Hopefully the sound sounds a little better. I have something very special for you guys today. It's actually a 3-part presentation. So it's going to take us 3 weeks to get through this entire presentation from start to finish. Hey, Karen. Good morning. I'm so glad that you could join today. Yeah, so this presentation that we're going to go through all about LinkedIn is going to be separated into 3 different training sections. So this first week, this Wednesday, February 28th, that we're talking about this, we are going to first tackle a platform introduction, but more importantly, we're going to, hey, hello, everybody's coming in and saying hi. I'm so happy you can join me today. We are going to tackle today what I like to refer to as the above the fold. That's your upper half of your LinkedIn profile, like your banner, your profile photo, the title, with specific heavy emphasis, oh my gosh, on your title and how you can write your title so that it attracts your ideal clients. So that is what we are looking at today. If you guys are unfamiliar with LinkedIn, or you're familiar with it, but you're not taking it seriously, let me tell you why we all need to be taking LinkedIn as a platform more seriously. It's because there are 900 million active users across the entire globe. There are 58 million companies across the globe who are actively hiring and looking for freelancers like you and me. And almost half of those 900 million people are daily users, which is insane. So there is a high amount of volume of knowledge being shared, of marketing being shared, of people finding clients. I use LinkedIn to find and connect with clients constantly. It is one of my favorite platforms. So this was my little way to just say that if you're not heavily invested in LinkedIn, I want you to get serious about this platform. And when I say get serious about it, here's what I really mean. You don't need to spend like 12 hours on LinkedIn. However, you do need to treat LinkedIn like any other social media platform, meaning you need to make sure that you're checking it frequently, that you're spending at least 5 to 10 minutes a day scrolling through, interacting with people that you're connected with, keeping your network and connections warm, letting them know that you have interesting things to share about your business. So it's really helpful if you could dedicate couple minutes in the morning. I like to open LinkedIn on my phone, scroll through, write comments, interact with people as I'm drinking my coffee. I keep it easy peasy lemon squeezy, but it has huge and profound impacts on your business. So if there's anything you're learning from this part 1 of 3 sections about LinkedIn, is that if you treat it like a social media profile, if you can make sure that you're investing time in it, you will see results. So LinkedIn, professional networking focus. We're not sharing things on LinkedIn like what you had for breakfast or where you went for vacation. We're making it more business focused. So this is really where you get to showcase your expertise, your skills. If you're learning a new skill as a virtual assistant, share that with your audience. If you found a new tool that works really well for your business, share that with your audience. These are all things that perform really well on LinkedIn specifically. It's also a perfect place for your professional and personal brand building. So if you don't yet have a website, and let me tell you something, I did not have a website for the first 8 years of my virtual assistant business. And by using LinkedIn, the profile as my main page to showcase what services I was offering, my skills, my rates, how clients could reach out to me, I still was able to attract clients without having that website. So LinkedIn is free. It's a free way to have a professional brand, professional website without really having to do anything. You don't have to build anything. It's not drag and drop. You don't have to pay for anything. It's amazing. And LinkedIn is also great for client discovery. So we're going to focus more heavily on client and gig discovery as well as industry trends later, probably not next week, but the third week. this is the week that I want to focus really heavily on above the fold. So these are the things that you're seeing on your screen right now. These are the things that create a first impression. These are the things that will either make or break whether or not a client reaches out to you. And it's totally true, because if you're not utilizing this particular part of your LinkedIn profile well enough, like if you don't have a good enough headline, which is number 4, we're going to talk about that more in depth. If you're not utilizing these elements, clients are going to either blow past you altogether. They're not going to look at your profile at all, which means they're not seeing your about section. They're not seeing your work history section. They're not seeing your services, et cetera, et cetera. Just want to see. Okay. So first thing is first, look at number 1. This is your header image or a banner image. So if you don't yet have a banner, like you might think it's an afterthought, it doesn't really matter, I don't need to utilize it. I just want to let you know that instead of thinking it's wasted space, I want you to think of your banner as an extra way that you can advertise more of your services or whatever it is that you want to direct people towards. So the choice is yours. If you want to direct people towards your website, then maybe you want to put your website in giant letters on your banner. If you want to direct people towards something, like for me, I have a newsletter on LinkedIn, so I want people to subscribe. So I've presented mine to be subscribe to BA Insiders and get weekly tips and tools. Um, I change my banner frequently depending on my business goals. So I just want to reiterate that anything that you create for your LinkedIn profile today isn't set in stone. And in fact, it should change. The more you change your services, the more you pivot, the more you change who you want to work with. All of these things should change. So I change my banner constantly. Since this presentation that I made like a week ago, I've already changed my banner again. So I have a totally new banner. But the point is, think of this banner as additional real estate where if a client clicks on your profile, they get a little extra information about you. You can communicate your personality based on your colors and your fonts and how you lay it out. And you can advertise things like your email address. So if you want clients to email you, put on your banner, new clients, email me at blah, 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 and let's talk about how I can help you. It can be as simple as that. And if you're wondering now how to create a professional looking banner that's easy, I highly recommend using Canva. Most people I think are familiar with this service, but if you're not, I'm adding it to the comments right now. It's canva.com, mostly free, which is great. So of course it does come with limited. There is a paid version, but it's very simple. They have tons of templates. And on Canva, if you type in LinkedIn banner, it will come up with hundreds of templates that you can use, drop your own information in, edit as you need. And then Canva's great. It creates this professional looking banner for your LinkedIn profile in just minutes. Number 2, the next most important thing that we really need to focus on for your LinkedIn is your headshot. This needs to be a professional image of you. So let's really quickly look into some do's and don'ts. So profile images, back up, LinkedIn profiles that have great photos, great headshots are 20 times more likely to get clicked on by clients. Profiles with great photos are 36 more times likely to get a direct message from a client, and you are 9 times more likely to get a connection request. So it's pretty important that we don't overlook this seemingly small, but actually very impactful part of your profile. So if you're looking on the lower where it says X, this is basically the what not to do. I don't want you to include a profile image where you're so far away that you look like the smallest little mini person. Clients can't really see you. They want to see your face. They want a clear, professional looking headshot. So if you're small, if we can't see you, if it's a full body shot, that's probably not doing or attracting clients like you think it is. So we don't want that. Vice versa, we don't want your face to be so close up that we only see your eyes and your nose and your mouth. That is too close up. This man in the middle looks absolutely menacing and terrifying, and we do not want to scare your clients away. And then third, sunglasses is a no-no. Wearing hats, don't do that. Group photos, your clients are not going to know which person you are if you're in a group photo. And last but not least, put clothes on. Don't be like this man. Save that for the beach or the boudoir. This is not the appropriate time for your clients. What you do wanna do if you look at the top row, professional looking photo, you're looking straight at the camera. Eye contact is huge because it makes the client feel a little more connected to you. If you just wanna think about psychology 101, we wanna draw your potential clients in. So if you're making eye contact, the person who's scrolling through all of the virtual assistants on LinkedIn, they have a more likelihood of clicking on your profile if they feel a connection to you. And so you could do that by making eye contact into the camera. And also, you'll notice that some of these people, it looks like they have like a nice professional blurred background. You don't even need to go that far. You can stand against a white wall, like the wall behind me. You can stand in front of a window and get natural sunlight in. Essentially, it doesn't need to be overly complicated. You can take a cell phone, your smartphone, your mobile phone, whatever you have already, doesn't even need to be a professional camera. Take your smartphone, get some nice natural lighting, hold it up so that we have a nice angle of your face, stand against a wall or a background that isn't too busy, snap that photo of yourself, and bing, bang, boom, your profile photo should be good to go. What I, oh, number three. Number three is your name and a title, and by title, I mean if you have any degrees, you wanna list those. So if you have a doctorate or an MBA or you've done your PhD in something, go ahead and list those titles because 'cause you've worked hard for them. But at the bare minimum, you wanna have your name on your profile, and then LinkedIn has this nice little feature where you can actually add how to pronounce your name. So if you have a name that people might be unfamiliar with or you find that people tend to mispronounce it frequently, you can actually add an audio. You'll see next to my name, I do have that little audio symbol where if people wanted to, they could click on it and they'll hear my voice pronounce my name. So just a kind of cool little way to make another extra connection with your clients. But the real meat and potatoes of today's talk is about point number 4, which is your headline. Think of your headline like your elevator pitch. Think of your headline like the thing that both attracts your ideal client and repels the clients that are not good fits, which is a good thing. We actually want to encourage people who you don't want to work with to skip your profile altogether. Let me tell you why that is. If you just have a title right now in your LinkedIn that says virtual assistant with no additional context, you are missing a huge opportunity to actually attract clients that are going to be a good fit for you and who you want to work with. If you right now were to go onto LinkedIn, and if you're familiar, there's a search bar in LinkedIn. I don't know if I have a picture of this. All right, I kind of sort of have a picture of this. Looking at this slide, you'll see that there are some people who do the headline better than others. I'm just going to throw this question out there for you. If so, I typed in the term virtual assistant bookkeeper because I wanted to get specific about what kind of VA I wanted to work with. Just looking at these people, who do you think I reached out to? And who do you think I totally overlooked? Just going to give you a couple seconds to look at this. The question is, who did I reach out to? I.e., who's doing the title the right way? And who did I not reach out to at all? I wish I could play the little Jeopardy jingle right now, but drum roll, everybody. Anthony absolutely got an email, and so did Lorene. So let's look specifically about why these two did it better than the other people. First and foremost, Anthony, his headline is so spot on by him just putting his main title. So, what it is that he does, he's a professional freelance bookkeeper. I'm looking for a bookkeeper, so we're already on the same page. Next, he put in his title that he uses QuickBooks. He is a QuickBooks Pro advisor. That signals to me that he is specialized in a particular service, that he is familiar with tools, and it's also a tool that I use. So I'm already like, okay, Anthony, I see you. Like we're on the same page. We're using the same tools. And then if we were to click on his full profile, it would say small business advisor. Lorene was another one who absolutely did this right. She is also listing herself as a virtual assistant and a freelance bookkeeper. So once again, I know that as a VA, she is somebody who is niched in a service that I need and that I'm looking for. She also went above and beyond by adding certain things like certified in QuickBooks. So her and Anthony are both QuickBooks Pro advisors. Again, that signals to me that they both really know their stuff and they're niched in a specific tool. And then Lorraine goes a little further. She's also a certified zero advisor. So different service, but two specialization, two different tools. Both these people grabbed my attention just by utilizing the headline in the correct format because I was able to be like, are they bookkeepers? Check. Do they use the same tools that I do? Check. Are they pro advisors of what they're doing? Like, are they specialized in their services? They checked all those boxes before I even looked at their profiles. Everybody else, unfortunately, just got a skip over because all it says to me is that they're a freelance bookkeeper or an accounting professional. They don't go into enough detail, as in, they don't tell me what it is that they do. They don't tell me how niched they are. They don't tell me what tools they're certified in. They don't give me any information. So if you're doing the same thing as a VA right now and your title just says virtual assistant, you're missing a golden opportunity. There are, and I kid you not, over 500,000 people, that's 500,000 people on LinkedIn today, who just list their title as virtual assistant. And unfortunately, I think all those people are getting passed over and missing opportunities to land clients because clients are not going to scroll through 100 pages of different virtual assistants. If everybody's profile only says VA, you're not giving the clients enough information to know if they even want to click on your profile or not. So, for everybody watching today, there's one thing that I want you to do right now, and that is look at your LinkedIn profile, look at your headline, and ask yourself, have I communicated who I am? That means, have you said anywhere in your title that you're a virtual assistant? Have you communicated what it is that you do? i.e., have you included any skills or services or niche services that you provide to your clients? And if you haven't, you need to be including those in your profile. Have you included any results that you've produced for your clients? Now, this is optional. I know sometimes if you're new and you don't yet have any clients, or maybe you're a general VA and you don't necessarily, you can't necessarily be like, I did their social media campaign and I gained 5,000 followers for them. That's okay. You can skip the results that you've produced if it doesn't make sense for you, but as long as you're communicating who you are, what you do, and what kind of clients you hope to serve, you are already way ahead of the game. And certainly way ahead of those other 500,000 people that only put virtual assistant on their profile. So I've got two examples under for you guys, just to give you an example of what some headlines might look like. You could say something like executive assistant, or you could cut that out and say virtual assistant, right hand to the CEO and VPs. That tells me that this EA works with high level people. And then they finish it off with flawless office organization and administrative duties, as well as complex scheduling. I think this is a great headline because it speaks volumes to what the person does. They're an assistant, who they work with. These are your ideal clients. They work with C-suite, CEOs, VPs of companies. And they're communicating that they do things like organization, general admin, scheduling. Complex scheduling is usually something that CEOs and VPs need. So this speaks, again, this is a great headline because it speaks to the types of people that this person is trying to attract to their LinkedIn profile. So that's a wonderful example of what a good looking headline does and how it can help attract your ideal clients to your profile. Now, second to that is if you are only writing virtual assistant in your headline with no additional context, you have the very real possibility of attracting the wrong types of clients. I'll give you an example. I hate doing bookkeeping. I hate it. I'm not good at it. I don't offer it to my clients. It's just not something that I offer as part of my core virtual assistant services. So if I only put virtual assistant in my title, and then I find that maybe I get one or two or five messages in my LinkedIn inbox, and they're from clients who are like, oh, you're a VA. I need a VA, but I need them in bookkeeping. That would be a waste of my time. That'd be a waste of their time because I'd have to be like, oh, sorry, that's the one service I don't offer. So if I get more specific on my headline, the hopes are that I would both attract my ideal clients and repel the people that I have no interest in working it with. So a really good headline will do both of those things. Because essentially, if there's an industry you don't want to work with, or if there's a service that you don't want to offer, don't put it up on your headline. We don't want to attract people that you don't want to work with. We're trying to attract people that you do want to work with. The more specific you can get on your headline, the better. And just like I mentioned with the banner, you want to keep your headline as up to date as possible anytime your business changes. So, just like I update my banner constantly based on my goals, my changes, my business growth, I change my headline constantly. I've probably changed my headline 1,000 times, and it is based on the clients that I want to work with. I've changed the industries that I've worked with many times over. So I used to work with wealth managers. My headline was very specifically tailored to venture capitalists. Like I think I literally said, um, I'm a virtual assistant to venture capitalists who need help with research and biz dev. And so it was that kind of person that I was trying to attract 10 years ago. I'm not trying to attract them anymore. So I changed my headline. So I just want you to know that as your business changes, you should constantly be updating your headline to reflect those changes. We need to keep it up to date because remember, your LinkedIn profile can essentially act as your personal branding and your professional branding. So if it's not up to date, you're also missing out and risking alienating clients that think they want to work with you. Maybe your old headline says you are a bookkeeper VA, you changed your services, but you never changed your LinkedIn headline. So if people are still inquiring about your bookkeeping services and you're like, haha, I don't do that anymore, missed opportunity and a waste of your time and a waste of those clients' times. Really quick, I want to see how much more. Okay. Really quick question that I get pretty frequently when I start talking about LinkedIn. Should you have two LinkedIn profiles? And my answer is a resounding absolutely not. Um, First and foremost, LinkedIn tells you right off the bat that it's against their policy to have two profiles. So it's rare, but should the system actually catch you and flag you for having two nearly identical profiles, they will delete both and ban you for life. It is a crazy but real thing that they actually do. The second reason you don't want to have two profiles is because it's just dividing and conquering your messaging. People, if they search your name, like let's say they are aware of your name but they don't really know what you do, if they're typing your name into the search bar and you come up with two totally different profiles, like maybe you have one profile that's virtual assistant focused and maybe you have another profile that's still focused on an old company or a full-time company job, they're not going to know which one is up to date. They're not going to know who to reach out to. You're going to have to navigate two inboxes. It gets messy. It gets brutal. I don't recommend it at all. Okay, I'm seeing a question come in. How should a new VA write a headline to attract a client? Well, let's go back to this example. If you can start your title with who you are, that's your title as virtual assistant. So that's how you want to start the phrase. Next, you need to answer the question, what kind of client do you want to work with? Do you even know who you want to work with? That is a question that only you can answer. And so I do recommend that you take some time this week to think through maybe what industries they're in, where do they live? Who are you hoping to work with? Do you want to work with startups? Do you want to work with small businesses? Do you want to work in a certain industry like healthcare? So really figure out who it is that you're trying to attract and then include that in your title. So if you're brand new, it could be something as simple as virtual assistant, working with CEOs of startups in the tech industry. But that title is really going to be reflective based on your interests, your goals, your desires, your ideal client, etc. So I can't necessarily write that headline for you, but hopefully that answers your question. So even if you've never worked with a client before, I highly recommend that your title reflects the types of people and clients and niches and industries that you hope to start working with. So dream big, pop that up there. Don't be afraid to really hone in on who you want to work with and what it is that you want to do for them. That was a great question, and I'm appreciative of you asking that. Thank you so much. This is a short, I know, 30 minutes. I usually talk to you guys for like hours. Okay, see another question. What do you advise for someone who's been a secretary to Nishan? Again, same answer. Great question, Priscilla. Same answer. Who do you want to work with? If you enjoy the kind of general admin work, so One of my first jobs when I got out of college back in the day was executive assistant. I was a secretary to a VP. And when I transitioned into virtual assistants, I kept it pretty general. I liked the admin work that I was doing. So one of my first titles for headlines for my LinkedIn profile was virtual assistant, assisting with general admin for C suite executives. So you can keep it general like that. And I'm going to remove this comment so that you can see this example right here. This is a secretary who wrote a really good headline: executive assistant, right hand to the CEO and VPs. So again, we're getting a sense for what this person does and who they assist. So you're essentially doing the same thing. You're a virtual assistant. And then in your title, I want you to put in who you want to work with. And maybe for you, that's CEOs as well. And then this person does what I they did a really good job saying that if they work in admin, flawless office organization, flawless administrative duties, works hard in complex scheduling. Like, this person was really able to hone in and make general administrative type services sound interesting and sound amazing. Like, for sure, I trust this person just by reading their headline, because I'm like, they're flawless. They can do complex scheduling and they nailed it. Um, so use this example as an example headline if you're struggling or if you're transitioning from full time secretarial work. This kind of headline is a great example to follow. Um, do you guys have any questions about the headline specifically? Because again, I just want to reiterate that there is so much more on LinkedIn to cover. Next week, I'm going to give you guys a little preview. Next week, we're going to be covering all of these key components of the profile. Then we're getting into content strategy, and then eventually we will get into how to grow your connections. So there's a ton to cover. I just want to reiterate that really, truly, your headline is the thing that can make or break you, and that is what we are focusing on today. Okay, see another question popping up. If you have work that's not hourly, how do you put a price on that? That's a great question. I'm not hourly either. I always recommend a lot of VAs move to flat fee schedules if you can. Personally, I think flat fee is better than charging hourly. If you're still on hourly, you are punishing yourself for being really fast, or clients tend to be a little more nitpicky if they think it takes you too long and they're questioning why it took you 3 hours to do something and you're charging for 3 hours and they don't like it and blah, blah, blah. So here's how I come up with my flat fee. I start by simply asking my clients how many hours of service they think they need per month. So I'll break it down a little more and say, if you think you need 10 hours of service a week, that puts us at 40 hours a month. Let's start at 40 a month and see how we do for the first 4 weeks. So for the first 4 weeks, and only the first 4 weeks of service with a new client, will I track my time. So I want to make sure that I'm not actually working over 40 hours, for example. So I track my time, and then at the end of the month, I come back to the client and I either say, yep, we were spot on, you're using just about 40 hours, or I come back and I say, you know what, we used a lot more hours than 40. I suggest we bump it up even higher. Then what I will do, once we agree on a monthly allotment of hours, I will multiply that by my hourly rate. So if my hourly rate was $35 per hour and somebody has agreed to 40 hours a month, that simply means I would send them an invoice every month for $1,400. That's 35 an hour times 40 hours. That comes out to $1,400. So that is how I come up with my flat fee pricing. And I hope that helps you as well. In my mind, that is the simplest, most effective way to come up with a flat fee structure that clients are usually very happy with. All right, great, great, great question here. Do you write out all your services in your headline? If you have a ton of different services, then no, I do not recommend writing all of them out. Not only are you limited to certain number of characters, like at some point it will cut you off. Let's go back to this example. Anthony wrote so many things, and so did Lorene. They had so many things in their headline that it got cut off. So what you want to do is make sure that you're sharing the most important services first, so that if somebody is just glancing at a whole list of virtual assistants, that they're getting the most important services first before your headline gets cut off. So What I recommend doing is, if you have any niche or specialized services, start with that. Or you can do, again, exactly what this person does on the second example of, I mean, for example, just saying administrative duties doesn't necessarily tell me what this person does. I can speculate that they do travel, calendar booking, expenses, online purchases. Like, I'm just speculating based on what I think admin duties are, but you can get more specific, or you can simply say, I'm a virtual assistant, I do admin, and then maybe add a niche. But certainly don't list out everything. Like, you don't want to be like, I do travel, I do calendar, or whatever. You can just sum that up, and you can sum that up with administrative duties. Plus, I want you to keep in mind that the headline is to grab people's attention. It is there to encourage potential clients to click on your profile and then see your greater information. So, for example, instead of listing out all your services, you could say, I'm a virtual assistant. I do admin duties for CEOs working in the tech industry. Just a general example. That could be your headline. And if a CEO who's working in tech comes across your profile, they'll be like, "Oh, they're speaking to me. I'm in tech. I'm a CEO. I need help." Click. When they click on your profile, that's when they'll go to your about section. We will talk about the about section and the summary section more in depth next week. So make sure you're coming back for that live next Wednesday at 1 o'clock. But just know that you don't have to list out all your services, because when a potential client clicks on your LinkedIn profile, you will get into greater detail about your services in the about section. It's just that we have to maximize and get really smart about our headline to attract people, not necessarily to give them all the information all at once. That was a great question. I really appreciate you asking that. Do you guys have any other questions specifically about your LinkedIn headline, your title, how to write it? Because I really like your homework is, as soon as we get off of this live, to go open your LinkedIn and make sure that your title is written as clearly and effectively as possible. And if there's one thing you remember from today's lecture, it is that if you can communicate who you are, that's your virtual assistant, what you do, those are your main services or your niche services, and then who you're trying to attract. Those are the things that we want to put in your headline to make sure that we are attracting the right kind of person. And I'm really excited because once that is squared away, then we can get into the bulk of writing your about section, getting really detailed on your services, writing your experience section. So all that good stuff will come in time, aka next week. And then I'm super excited the week after to get into things like content strategy, because LinkedIn is this unbelievable social platform. And part of its magic is making sure that your profile is tailored to your services to a T. It's clear. We're attracting your ideal clients. The other magic of LinkedIn is the content that you share and how we can strategically start creating content for you that also attracts your ideal client. So I love talking about content creation. I'm super excited to talk about that in a couple weeks. Yes, if you go to my YouTube, you're on my YouTube, I can see that. In the search icon, search for pricing. I have tons of videos on hourly, on packages, on flat fees. So I've already got those up there for you. So make sure you're searching for that. And I think you will find them helpful. All right, this was a quick one today. I'm hopeful that this takeaway for the headline is going to help create an even better, stronger profile for you guys. LinkedIn is a powerhouse. It is such a good option for us freelancers. I'm so excited that it exists. And so hopefully by the end of this 3-part series that we're going to do, you'll start getting a little more client traction specifically through LinkedIn. So I really appreciate you guys joining me today. If there are no more questions about the LinkedIn headline, go do your homework, check out your headline, see how you can make it a little bit better based on what we talked about today. And then join me next Wednesday at 1 o'clock, where we'll start talking about the rest of the profile, what that looks like, your summary section, content. And yeah, I think next week is profile, summary, and content creation, I think. Anyway, it's gonna be a good time. I'm really excited to go through it with you guys. All right, thank you guys so much for joining me. Look, I almost made it to 30 minutes. That was my cutoff. Sorry, I talked your ear off for a little bit longer. Really appreciate you guys. Again, if you're looking for any specific videos, use the search bar on my YouTube section. Chances are I have over 300 videos, and chances are the things you're looking for, I have already made a video about. And then, second to that, be sure to join me next Wednesday at 1 o'clock, where we talk about the rest of your profile as well as content strategy. And check out my website, erinbooth.com. I've got more resources up there for you guys and more courses. That you guys can check out about virtual assistants. So thank you so much for joining me today, and I'm super excited to see you on next week's video. Bye.